up, y'all? Choice Chose here, and today we're going to have an interview with one of my more creative friends. His name is Lino Pretto, and he is a graphic designer, an entrepreneur, an artist, and now an amateur glassblower. In short, he's super dope. So let's just watch this video, all right?
Really, like, all of my thoughts and my passions in life kind of come out through my art. Glass being kind of the latest iteration of that. I've been interested in doing it for a long time, but I didn't get a chance to get into it until last October. Someone I'd done a graphic design for actually got me in contact with the guy, Ben Burney, who owns Global, and I sat down with him and he needed a couple of logos done, and I really wanted to learn glass. So I'm kind of the shop apprentice, more or less. It's a non-paid position, but I'm there and I get to make stuff, and I'm almost to the point where I can do production work for the shop. It really kind of inspires itself for me a lot of the time, and it's kind of like how I feel, or what's going on in my life. A lot of my comics are that same way. They kind of are a reflection on where my head's at.
Who inspires you? Like, what artist inspires you most?
That's a huge question. I've had a lot of people that I've looked up to, their artistic abilities over the years. Ralph Steadman, a lot of his ink work blows my mind. A lot of people look at his stuff and it really looks like a lot of drug-fueled, ravings, but I don't know, there's something about the amount of energy and maybe even forethought that goes into a lot of his work that it really spoke to me. Any guy from the Renaissance, really. Da Vinci stuff. I know it's probably a little cliche to look up to him, but
Who doesn't though?
I know, it's like, how can you not? I mean, he was just like this crazy forward thinker. Like, some of his stuff that he designed back then, like, we're just redesigning now because it got lost in the fray, and that kind of like hundreds of years before his time. Trying to think ahead like that. I try to do that in a lot of my work where I'm like, okay, I make this now, I want to have something that'll hold up for centuries. Like, I want to have work that people will look at in 1,000 years from now and be like, that's still really pertinent stuff. Or just, really beautiful work. A lot of movies makers, I love movies a whole lot, and I think what it really comes down to is just seeing people who make their passion happen is really what inspires me the most. Even kids that I've grown up with too. One of my oldest friends, he started his own photography company. Like, he was an amazing photographer, and then he decided to go join the Army. I know, right? It sounds weird, and I was like, why would you walk away from something like that? But he really wanted to go join the Army, so he's going and doing his passion now, and he works EOD, blowing up bombs so that places are safer, and it's a lot of respect for people following their passions.
And speaking of following passions, did you have any criticism when you were saying that you wanted to pursue art?
You mean like from family or
like family, friends,
yeah, okay.
coworkers?
Actually, I've been really lucky in that sense. My mother was an artist.
Oh, okay.
Professional artist. She went to MSU too, and so did my sister. And my dad came from a military background, but they've all been like super supportive of wanting to find something that makes you happy in life. Really. My mom may be a little too gung-ho actually about it sometimes, but God bless her, I love her. And I don't think I would be where I am now without all the love and support I've gotten from my friends and family about my stuff. And like, the reaction I get when I post my stuff online is really reaffirming. Like, I posted the octopus, and like 100 comments later, I'm like reading through these, and like everyone just loves the stuff I'm doing, and it's it makes me want to keep going even more.
So how did you come up with Boxman Inc.?
Boxman, that question actually gets asked a lot. Boxman started off as a small doodle that I did in high school a couple times, and then he kind of sat aside. I didn't really do anything with him for years. Like I never really thought about it that much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took humorous illustration with Denny Preston at LCC, and I kind of rediscovered how much I liked doing like little one-hitter comics and stuff and panels. And we did an assignment where we had to do a logo for a business, and I got assigned for a moving company. And I was looking through some of my stuff, and I like found a picture of a Boxman. I was like, oh man, Boxman moving, that would make complete sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so just like a half dozen pages of squares later, I have this like half a notebook full of pages where I just like drew Boxman over and over and over again in like different iterations and sizes and shapes, and then finally this one time I drew a box and like did the different size eyes and a little eyebrow, and I looked at it and I was like, huh. And I kind of started seeing him more as a almost a comic version of myself at that point. I don't know. I still don't know exactly what the change was, but that one time that I drew him, like suddenly he was this completely different character than just drawing a guy with a box for a head. And from then on, I started using him for all sorts of stuff. He just kind of became my thing. Like most everybody would see. A lot of the people that know me, they see the Boxman drawing somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, Lino did that," and so he kind of naturally became the logo. And I've been thinking about starting my own business for artwork for years, and I could just never think of a good name. And like the same thing happened. Like one day, I was sitting there and I was staring at. I like did a little doodle of Boxman. I was like, oh man, Boxman Ink. That makes perfect sense. I've always thought about incorporating. I'll just INK ink because graphic work. That makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just plowed forward with it, and so
it all goes back to Boxman.
It all came back to Boxman. It really, really did.
What piece out of all of your work is your favorite?
Oh man. I don't think I've made it yet.
Okay.
Honestly, I love a lot of the pieces that I've done. I think one of my favorites definitely is this one right here. It was the first time I tried doing a teardrop shape with the glass, which is kind of difficult because you have to pull one end of, because you make the dome, you have to pull one end out a little bit to get it to make the drop shape, but you have to have enough heat in the center of it so that you don't pull stress marks into the glass, so it's kind of a difficult shape to make. And the way that one came out with color, and it feels really heavy on the bottom side. I think it dangles really well as a pendant. I love the way it turned out, and the shape and the smoothness, and the turtles are super fun to make. I love watching the way the patterns turn out, and honestly the Pokeballs are like super fun. So I don't know if there's any one piece among what I've made so far that it stands out to me as being like my absolute favorite. Just I love doing it, and I look forward every day to getting up and making more glass. And as far as all my other work goes, I think Boxman is definitely my favorite doodle I've ever done. He's so versatile. As far as my painting goes, I think the watercolor on the wall over there is absolutely like far and away my favorite one I've done. Someday I'll get back to doing more watercolors, and hopefully I can make one as satisfying as that one ended up being. Metalwork, I made a 3 foot tall metal Boxman.
Really?
That was a touch lamp. Like I rigged him up so that I grounded the feet with rubber pads so he was up off the ground, and rigged a touch lamp sensor inside of the head since he was steel all the way around. You could touch him anywhere and the light in the head would come on.
That's awesome.
A couple of years after I built him, one of the places I was living in the basement, I discovered there was a drip that happened to be right over top of him, so he had like rust down one side and a couple of the welds cracked and broke, but now that I have the gases for it, I can finally polish him up and fix him. So much stuff. I hope I never stop doing all kinds of art. Like I love all of it so much. It's so satisfying in different ways.
So if you had any words for anybody who's thinking about going into art or an aspiring artist, what would they be?
Don't start a band. No one cares, no one will understand. Thank you, Real Big Fish. No, if I had any words for up-and-comers, keep at it. Just absolutely keep going with what you're doing. If you feel like what you're doing is moving somewhere, no matter what anyone else says, keep doing it. Just ignore the critics if you have to. Find your own satisfaction in your work, and when you're pleased with your own stuff, I feel like everyone else will see it. Like if you're happy with your work, then other people will see that kind of energy in your work, and they'll respond to it.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful.
Lino. Thank you, Lino. See, I told you he was dope. So make sure you check out Boxman Inc. Also, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel for other videos. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter @ChoiceChels. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Super dope.